Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushua, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushua, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushua, Kolayim La, Adonai Yahweh, Bashem Shah Malak Yahushua, Bashem Kakadash, Stubborn Honest Apostle, Ezra Great Millstone, Peace, Citation, Hopeful, like Shalom. And in this article, I'm going to bring out is about this TikTok challenge that led to some people dying. And this is about a day ago from what it says. It says from today.com. Multiple people have died after attempting social media boat jumping challenge. At least 4 people in Alabama have died after jumping off of moving boats in the past 6 months, officials said. This is July 10th, 2023, by Anna Kaplan. At least 4 people have died in Alabama attempting a dangerous social media challenge where people leap off of moving boats and hit the water, officials said. Captain Jim Dennis of the Childersburg Rescue Squad told NBC News the 4 people in the state, 4 people died in the state over the past 6 months after jumping out of boats. And quote, the 4 that we responded to when they jumped out of the boat, they literally broke their neck. And basically an instant death, Dennis said. The stunt is not new, with videos posted of people jumping out of moving boats since 2020, but more people are trying the challenge as they're out on the waters during the summer months. Experts emphasize the dangers of attempting the challenge on today. And quote, you can wind up with broken bones, a broken neck, or you could end up running into a propeller of your own boat, or another boat could run over you, and that would cause lots of damage, if not death. And quote, said Gail Culp, executive director of the Sea Turtle Foundation. And honestly, speaking out of the article in my own words, yeah, that could really cause a horrific death if a propeller of the boat was to really hit you, and cut you up. And honestly speaking, I felt like if you was to suffer an injury like that, that would pretty much be severe and would really leave you maimed, and maybe even make you lose a body part or so. And that's honestly living in hell, where you are so maimed to the point where you can't even grow a limb back or so. And honestly, it's best to die than to suffer living like that. Now back into the article, says Culp, who works to educate boaters and prevent recreational accidents on the waters, added the stunt is, in quote, really, really dangerous. In quote, hitting the water from a moving boat is like hitting concrete from jumping multiple stories up, Culp said. Experts added that wearing a life jacket while jumping out of a boat would not be able to prevent serious injuries or death, and the only way to be safe is to not try the stunt. TikTok said in a statement to NBC News it has added warnings on some of its videos that note, in quote, participating in this activity could result in you or others getting hurt. In quote, it's not accurate to characterize or report this as a TikTok challenge, TikTok said in the statement, adding the company can't comment on something that isn't a trend on our platform. Other social media challenges have caused harm or even taken lives, including the, in quote, skull breaker challenge, where one TikToker said she had to get surgery after she stood in a line with her friends who kicked out her legs from under her, causing her to crash onto the floor. And in the salt and ice challenge, some users reported getting second-degree burns after putting salt and ice directly onto their bare skin. When asked about these challenges, TikTok pointed NBC News to its community guidelines, which state, in quote, we do not allow showing or promoting dangerous activities and challenges, and advising if you see a dangerous activity or challenge, pause for a moment to stop and think before you decide and act. Yeah. So maybe this article is by Anna Kaplan. Seemed like an Edomite. Yeah. So without further ado, I'd like to get into some scriptures, and Lord willing, make this lesson edifying and hopeful out there. So Proverbs chapter 13, verse 20. It says, he that walketh with wise men shall be wise, but a companion of fools shall be destroyed. Exactly. And you following after fools basically will lead to your destruction, because they will do things such as like these challenges where they see other YouTubers basically spreading that basically that influence, where they have people to follow after what they do. and that becomes a trend, where they set the wave of doing certain things that's funny, and they get a lot of likes and views, and they get more notoriety and more popularity for doing such things. And that's the problem with a lot of people, because they're so caught up on social media, especially a lot of these kids that don't have both parents in their lives to pretty much guide them. And then another thing too, being raised by single parents as well, that's another reason why a lot of these kids really look up to the system, and they look up to social media a lot, because they don't have parents to teach them the wise things. And that's the reason why a lot of these fucking guys out here doing all type of crazy shit like this, doing challenges to where they're losing their lives due to stupidity. And the book of Proverbs, and it is really a good book, because it goes into like a lot of wisdom, and it goes into like, talking about fools as well. And you see, one thing about the people in this world, they are just the dumbest people in the world. That's why scriptures say that folly is set in great dignity, and on top of it all, the wisdom of this world is foolishness, because you have it to where people have all these damn degrees, and they even seem like they're 3.0, 4.0 GPA students. And a lot of times when you really understand their mentality, and you get to know how they function in life, they're not as wise as you really think. They're not really as smart as you think. Because there's a difference between you being academically smart, and then you being smart in terms of like common sense, dealing with people, communication, being socially smart in a sense, like being street smart or so. And there's different levels of pretty much being smart in a way. And when you see these people in this world that have these degrees, and a lot of times trying to have a paper that show that they're smart, a lot of times they're not really smart. Not saying all of them, but majority of them, especially if they're Americanized. Because Americans are really the dumbest set of people of all time. You can even see videos of Americans getting tested on their history, on what they know about the country. Even though, don't get me wrong, the basic history that they're supposed to know, they don't. And it's really a shame when you see some YouTubers go out with a microphone to test other people if they know the average basic history, and they don't even know that, And it's really sad when you see the mind state of American people compared to other people in other countries, And that's the reason why in other countries, that's the main reason why they have their people social media being monitored, that they don't allow for certain things to be pushed in other countries. And I don't blame them. You have it to where in the Middle East and some Asian countries, they have strict monitoring of social media, making sure that they don't watch certain type of like films, making sure they don't watch things that is going to pollute and corrupt their minds. Because you see, in America, it's like you watch anything, you could do almost anything here, and they don't even care. And that's the reason why they just go as far as doing without will. And that's following after a foolish mind state, because that type of way of thinking comes from who? From Aleister Crowley. And he's a wicked ass witch, And it says in verse 16 that, should have read this first, every prudent man dealeth with knowledge, but a fool layeth open his folly. And how he layeth open his folly is pretty much by following after stupidity. Social media is the main way they follow after stupidity. And that's the thing about a lot of these people. They look up to social media as their guiding steps to life, They look up to social media as their that's their wisdom basically, and that's the reason why a lot of them are out there being bugged out and out there to pretty much dying all types of deaths because of these stupid ass challenges, or even getting injured. And that's this just the stupid spirit on them. It says in Proverbs 14 verse 7, go from the presence of a foolish man when thou perceivest not in him the lips of knowledge. Exactly. And it says the wisdom of the prudent is to understand his way, but the folly of fools is deceit. Fools make a mock at sin, but among the righteous there is favor. You see? That's exactly what happens when you follow after fools, because their whole mind is basically set upon a house that's built on sand. But when you're wise, truly wise, you'll be in this truth, and your house will be set upon a rock, because you're not going to go out there following after all type of stupidity that people do that end up getting themselves injured or killed, because when your mind is really set on this truth, like set on the roots of the ground, when your seed is really set upon good soil, eventually, the Lord is gonna help you to like pretty much endure. And a lot of these people out here, man, you see, they don't even want to even think about hearing this truth, that do all these stupid ass challenges, And Ecclesiastes chapter 10 verse 6, it says, folly is set in great dignity, and the rich sit in low place. Yeah, folly is really the most respected thing in this world. Following out the dumb trends, people dress stupid because they wearing nice, expensive, lavish clothing. I guess that the reason why it will be called lavish is because of the fact that it's high priced and it looks stupid as all hell. But the fact that it's so expensive, they're looked at as, people that wear those things like stupid celebrities. Even though they get criticized here and there, but they still look great upon, because they have money to blow. And it's like, you just find it to be very folly, very foolish, in fact. And their ways are just folly. And then you have it to where a lot of these people see that these people that's trying to be famous, that's getting influenced by that social media, trying to be famous, trying to do these trends that's causing their life, or that's gonna cause them to get injured, if not killed. These people out there just doing all type of stupidness, and they don't even consider their life when they do these things. They don't consider the consequences. They just want to think about the vain glory that they're gonna get for a short moment of doing something dumb just to be famous, desperate for clout. And that's the thing with a lot of these people, man. But when it's coming to this truth, and brothers out there pushing out videos of this truth, that's how the rich sit in low place. Brothers in this truth that's really pushing out this truth at an all-time high, they don't get as famous as people that's doing stupidity for views and likes. But the only time when brothers' views go up is when brothers get on the woman, or they talk about, rebuking videos where they get on certain people by the camps. That's the only time where the views really go up, honestly. And the sad thing is, a lot of people that see those videos, they just look at it for entertainment purposes, and they're not looking at it for how they could gain wisdom from it. And then you find out with a lot of jakes that a lot of them are so stupid that they don't even want to look at the truth for their benefit. It only benefits their comfort of how they get to, sit back and laugh at somebody getting rebuked, especially if they get, especially if the woman gets rebuked. And I find it really sad with Jake that a lot of Jakes find TikTok to be a great influencer for their lives and other social media platforms where people do these stupid challenges that cost them their life or get them harmed. Especially like the one with the burn challenge where people were literally setting themselves on fire. And some people even suffered third-degree burns from that. Stupidity, man. And these are the same people that will have a problem when you tell them the truth. You see? That's the reason why people like that, man. It's the same reason why a lot of these Americans, they need to pretty much be destroyed. Because they don't want to receive instruction. This is mainly our people. We're just 2/3. They don't want to be reproved of their ways. They just want to continue in their folly. Continuing following after the ways of Babylon. And following after those ways is following after death. Everything is a damn stupid challenge nowadays. Everything is a fucking meme. Everything is a joke in America. Nothing is really taken seriously. And for something that's supposed to be taken serious, it doesn't get looked at as serious. It gets looked at as a joke. Because America's been in power for so damn long. These people really become so prideful that they do anything, even putting their life at risk and throwing caution to the wind. That makes these people in America very fucking stupid. And you could tell, like, other nations that are, pretty much enemies against America, they're looking at these Americans like that they're really stupid. Especially when they see Jake in America. And even the average Edomite in America, the average so-called white person is a fucking idiot. They're all dumb as hell. They claim they got a degree and all this shit. And look at the stupidity that they do at a young age. Because since they want to do as thou wilt, then they have that type of spirit. They do all type of folly. And then when they end up as a statistic of basically dying, now there's a caution about the stupid actions that they took to be a part of this stupid ass social media challenge. And now there's a lot of backlash that's going against social media platforms for pushing those challenges. Well, blame the so-called white man for making social media to be for what it really is, and want to basically take down videos of talking about the truth, but yet keeps videos up like this promoting stupidity and a whole bunch of wickedness, which is foolishness and folly. So that's all I gotta say on that, man. Ain't nothing really too much to point out. The lesson's pretty much been made. These people are just gonna get dumber and dumber, and that's pretty much what the Most High is doing, man. He's really bringing down the wisdom and his knowledge of the world. You got it to where you gotta call people by whatever gender they identify as, and with that logic, any man could walk in a woman's bathroom and say he's a woman, which is completely going way the hell off. But hey, man, that's this world's wisdom for you. But with that, I hope let's edify. Let's give all glory, praise, honor to Adonai Yahweh, Ba'ashem Shamalak Yahweh, Ba'ashem Kakadash, the honor of the Apostle Elsgray Millstone, peace, I say, hope for life. Shalom.